everybody missed this class last week, right? 1 week less of good stuff to talk about. The weeks go fast, doesn't it? So stop wasting time and take advantage of what you have this semester. Maybe the last time you get to interact instantaneously with somebody who's done businesses over and over. And you know why I'm here, right? Why am I here again? Finding my partners. Now, if I had partners that sent me as much email as you did every day, I'd go broke. This was me, I'd be emailing me 3 times a day. It's all about the desire. At the end of the day, it's about the hunger. Without the hunger, you have nothing. You'd be like everybody else out there. You'd be like a number out there. You know, and you think when you get the big job at Google, I landed a job at Google. They work your ass and they spit you out on the floor. It'll be on your resume. You worked at Google. You know? This kind of thing, working on the grindstone, looking at things, sitting here like I did in your seats, you know what I mean? It's humbling. It's humbling for me. It's humbling for me to come back to the school and give back to the students, you know, and then not receive much of an email. The extent that I got something was helping our military service stay in this class because they wanted to get her out of the class. That's as close to a helping hand that I've given to anybody that are going to be my future partners in here. So I recommend waking up. That's what I recommend doing, waking up a little bit. Okay, so that I'm here for a good reason. I'm looking for my partners. Give me a reason to make you my partner. That's what this is all about. Okay? My partners are emailing me from all over the world constantly. I have so many deals going at any given time, my head's splitting. By the time I even get here, okay, my head is splitting from the phone calls driving from Long Island. Okay, so, and then trying to figure out how to give you the head start, what's up on how we make money together, how this all happens, because look, for a lot of you, it's just going to happen. For my former classes, it took a few years to get started, but they're getting started, they're making money now. They're doing it on their own, you know, but, you know, I had a student just emailed me last week. He's on Homeland. He was a model, and he was a DJ. He was trying to get it together. He was very outspoken, you know, almost too much. And I had to put him a little bit in his place. It was too much, you know what I mean? You talk back, you know, because you don't like what I say to you, well, too bad. Okay, that's why you signed up for this program. You're not going to hear all good stuff in your life. You know, that's not what this class is about. So, you know, 5 years later, the class of 2008, he was at the award ceremony. He was the guy giving me a plaque. He was so impressed by the class, they teamed up and they made me a plaque. And he was the guy to honor me and read me the plaque. And it's on the website. Here he is, 5 years later. He's on Homeland. He's got a somewhat of a good supporting role that looks like it will lead him on to other things, which is great because it really segues, you know, a little bit, you know, into the entertainment class today. But before we start with this, I want to show you something that I invented in 1998 that I ultimately abandoned. And I want you to try to guess what product this looks like that ended up happening altogether. It's just not by me.
Almost everyone has predicted that the internet would forever change the way business is conducted. Almost everyone has introduced an internet-based product or service that promises to change the world. Almost everyone has added a .com to their business, hoping to drive their share value up. Almost everyone has no clue how to turn internet traffic to real dollars. Introducing the TEL 3000, a product like none other. A product with the potential to make the promise of the internet come true. What is the TEL 3000? It is quite simply a telephone. television, video camera, and computer combined into one unit. Consumers can use the TEL-3000 like a TV to watch their favorite programs. They can use it like a telephone to make calls. And using the built-in camera, change it to a video call with a simple click of a button. And they can use it like any computer to surf the web and send and receive email. The TEL-3000 is simple enough for the novice and yet offers the bells and whistles the experienced user demands.
As a marketer, I'm fascinated by all of its applications.
Consumers can navigate their way around using their fingers or a stylus on the touchscreen. Plus, they have the option of either typing or writing their mail. To write, they simply use the stylus directly on the touchscreen. The biggest hurdle to conducting business over the World Wide Web has been the possibility of fraud. Here's how the TEL-3000 can protect any transaction. To purchase a product, the consumer actually swipes their credit card down their built-in card reader when making a purchase, then signs the touchscreen using a stylus, and the built-in camera captures a snapshot. 3 new modifications that will forever change the way business is transacted over the internet. No longer will consumers have to spend thousands of dollars on computers and various accessories. No longer will they have to spend hours sorting out compatibility issues with different kinds of software and hardware. The potential for conducting business over the internet can now be capitalized upon. As a marketer, the advantages become obvious. E-commerce now becomes not only secure, but easier. The average consumer may actually spend more time shopping online. You can increase sales by offering live or video demos of products and providing enhanced support services such as a 24-hour video helpline. The power of TEL-3000 technology, however, is not limited to consumers and their homes. It will be available in different sizes and specially configured for use in public places.
Applications in every field is hard to overconceive of. For example, in business, one can have stockholders meetings or sales meetings with your staff. You can even have face-to-face conversations with not just employees, but with customers. In religion is another different example. We could have broadcasts live from Rome with the Pope every Sunday. Or we could have, in education, we could have the French lectures brought right from the Sorbonne to the classrooms that the French students are hearing from French professors.
The TEL-3000. While almost everyone has been predicting or promising, we've been building. We've built a product that can make all the predictions and promises come true.
Okay, so this is 1998 when I invented that product. Did it ring a bell? What product does that look like to you?
It's like the iPad.
There you go. That's it. It's the iPad before the iPad. Okay, I did not have the stamina, the money behind this product to follow through on it. Even though it has probably better applications now than the iPad, including the built-in credit card reader and other things that were. So I got thinking coming here today that Jeff Bezos from Amazon should redo the iPhone and call it the Bezos. Okay, and what the Bezos would be certainly better than the iPhone, but for Bezos, the number one thing is this becomes now a kiosk. This is a shopping machine. This thing gets thrown in. You people are going to be shopping on this new Bezos unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's also going to be your telephone, your text. It's going to be better than Siri, which doesn't recognize anything. I mean, I ask Alexa, they're like spot on almost every time, Alexa. Siri, not so much. I'm not really sure what the problem is there. So Amazon has a big advantage right now if they wanted to get into the business and offer phones for $25 a phone with $25 monthly service to be your carrier. I think they would get everybody to sign up because they'd be losing money on the phone, and how are they going to be making the money back?
The monthly service.
The shopping, the advertisements, for that matter, everything. Because Bezos wants everything. He's into movies now. He's into television series. He's into music now. Everything's available on Prime. Okay? Although they got some really rocking news yesterday from Walmart. Anyone know what happened yesterday?
Their earnings came out?
Well, besides their earnings were very good, Walmart decided that they were going to go into a Beat Prime with 2-day free shipping, okay, on everything they have, or you could pick it up at the store. You think that alarmed Amazon a little bit?
Yes.
Yes, it did. They immediately matched the price, and they were terrified. Because the only one that could possibly catch up to Amazon is Walmart. No one else has a shot. No one else has a shot. So I was thinking as a class, maybe we would take a shot at writing a letter from the students of Brooklyn College about the Bezos. How many of you would like to write a letter to Bezos and talk about what we discussed in this class today?
Will we get a portion of it?
I hope so. I hope so. Okay? Certainly he'll be taken back by the class and the video, and that we think that this thing could actually make his company even more successful, way more successful than it is before. Because once you have this and the deals are flying at you left and right, as only Amazon can do, you're going to be spending a lot of money on this thing. And it's going to be subsidized, and Apple can't catch up. It's too late for Apple. It's too late for Apple because you can't keep making this thing at $675. It doesn't work. It's $10 worth of plastic. It doesn't work.
I also think it's a good time because everybody's tired of Apple and like their iPhones. You know, everybody's looking for something new.
No doubt, they're trying, and they think that something new is going to happen and change the world. I mean, Snap is coming out, their public offering's coming out very soon. Snapchat. Now, by a show of hands, okay, 2-part question, okay, don't rate them so fast. Okay, is Snapchat going to be more like Facebook, or are they going to ultimately, their demise going to be more like Twitter? So let's hear for Facebook first. Who thinks Snapchat is the next Facebook? How many of you think it's the next Twitter? Wow. Oh boy, they'd be very unhappy if we sent this videotape to Snap today, but all those investment brokers. You think it's the next Instagram?
I think it's more towards Instagram and Twitter.
I think they're going down their own path because you can't really say that they're more like Instagram when there's evidence that shows that when Snapchat was going strong, that Instagram was actually taking some of the ideas from Snapchat to put it in their own program.
Well, sure. We know Facebook is owned by, Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Snap is coming after them like crazy with this public offering. Will it succeed? I don't know. They're raising $25 billion with a B. So they better be pretty certain. They're out there making and a lot of the business shows are asking the same questions that I just asked you. Whether they're more going to be like a Twitter and just a flash in the pan, because how many times could you look at yourself with doggy ears?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, how many times did you look at the doggy ears? I mean, it does get a little bit old and stale.
But I feel like it's evolving to something different than just like interactions. I think their explore categories with all the news interactions is kind of adds a little extra to what other medias are. Like you go. I basically get like almost all my news that I get from Snapchat. I just go to the sports section, go to like ESPN, what's happening in sports, what's happening in politics, what is Trump talking about again, what's happening in Russia.
All things that are easily copied by Facebook and put into something. Again, there's nothing really difficult here. Okay, so like in the letter to Jeff Bezos, okay? Now let's start taking some notes. I'd like to see anybody open their book once while we're in this class. Okay? I'd like to have my partners one time write their notes down. That what we talked about, how we're going to make it better, and why we're going to make money, partner. Why you're going to make you so many millions of dollars. Why Hamilton's going to take in $500 million. A lot of dough. I was sitting in these chairs 30 years ago, same way. But who knew that was gonna happen? Just take one note for me, okay? Let's make believe we're both not wasting our time in here. And something great's gonna come out of this classroom. Mr. Bezos, you're not soon going to get all the information you ever desired or needed on every consumer in the universe, which will help you, Mr. Bezos, dominate not only the retail landscape forever and ever, but the entertainment industry, the social media industry, the publishing industry, and ultimately, Mr. Bezos, I must say, you would be most qualified and would get my vote as the President of the United States down in the future. And that may be the one that gets us the phone call back, okay? That may get us the phone call back because everybody will know the Bezos when we get through with the Bezos. So how are we gonna improve the Bezos and get him really behind this thing? Go ahead, Joe.
Maybe the phone could do multitasking. Like, let's say I'm playing an app and I want to do my homework at the same time on Google Docs. I activate the text-to-speech function while playing my game, and I can do my homework while having fun.
Beautiful, that's a great thing. Go ahead.
A battery that you could take out, so then you could buy 2 batteries. Instead of carrying that portable charger, you could charge that battery at night, charge your phone, same time, then instead of carrying that portable charger, just take off that battery, put that one in.
Beautiful.
Talk about batteries. I wanted to see like if there's a way to share battery. For example, like I have a phone and she has a phone and her battery's 100% and mine is 2%.
I know that that's coming. Does anybody know about that?
No, I wanted to know. Is
Yeah.
that possible?
Stuff is coming, you know, it's not out there right now.
They have that for HTC, the old HTC phones. I used to have.
Somebody be able to pull the battery from
My
that?
brother used to
I
do
know
that.
there's like the kinetic energy you do for your watches to make energy and make it function. Can you like input it into cell phone?
Maybe down the line that stuff's gonna happen, yeah.
Something that makes like customization, so everybody could customize how their phone looks completely from the outside and.
Why not?
That's
Why
how-
not?
like
That's
the whole-
long overdue.
That's how
And this is
Moto X
not
does
an
it.
LED
Yeah, I think
thing.
everybody has the
It
same
adds
phone.
nothing to the thing, sure.
So integrated with local services and have it be voice enabled. So if, for example, I want to have someone pick up my laundry, I can just tell the phone, Alexa, I need my laundry done. And
Beautiful. So you want to integrate much more Alexa into this, in essence, is Alexa. Good. I want that in there. All right, because he's very hot on Alexa, okay? And he's going to win that battle. According to everything I've been reading and the CS show, this was the hottest item. Yeah.
Something GPS based, it knows what store you're about to walk into and immediately it sends you a deal that they would offer. Instead of buying it from there, you can get
Absolutely.
a deal.
That's long overdue. It involves a lot of opt-in things, but again, Amazon could work with their favorite people who they want to do that with. Again, easy stuff, but an absolute must to be in that letter.
Give credit to Amazon itself. Like every time you re-up monthly, you get like a $10 voucher or something to use on the
Sure, I
website.
like that. Why not? Everybody will want that.
And what about like, instead of the voice of talking to someone, you can actually see that person on your phone and you can talk to them?
Video conferencing. Hell, look what I did in 1998.
No, I mean, not
Almost 20 years ago this was from. You would think that this was like a year ago, right? This is 20 years ago. This is the way my mind operates. It was very expensive. The prototype, I lost over $1 million on that project. I lost over $1 million building the prototype. I had all kinds of engineers on this. Yeah.
Use some sort of augmented reality with the cameras. You know, you show your camera something, just tells you the details about it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I did an experiment the other day. It was just a complete fluky kind of thing. I had my iPad near my wife's double-sided mirror, the double magnification mirror, and lo and behold, what do you think happens when you put some sort of an image by, and it just happened to be in like a nighttime. I had my iPad and I had this thing, and all of a sudden a hologram appeared. A hologram from a visual near like a double mirror. All of a sudden, a hologram of what was on my computer showed up on the mirror. So I did a little more researching to see if that's how they do holograms. Because I've watched this in person, and I am shocked. How many of you have ever seen a hologram in person? How real does that look? It's like a real person is there. I mean, you can have actually concerts, you can do Elvis concerts, you could bring the king back and do live concerts with Elvis, you know, with all kinds of other people on stage as well. So I see that as being a tremendous thing in the future.
I think there has to be like try on function. So if you're trying to, I don't know, buy like a shirt, you can take a picture of yourself and it'll implant that shirt onto you so you can tell how you would look.
I'm surprised that's not been done. It's been discussed a lot of times in the class. It's been discussed a lot online. But you would think you'd be able to put this and stand in front of it, and it knows your whole measurements, so you could buy your clothes and, you know. And Amazon, I don't care. I send it back anyhow. I mean, I get so many packages every day from them. Half of them go back. Yeah.
I know this is using such a series all the voice characters,
Yes.
make them actual characters that you can customize, you can talk to, because you only hear the voice and you don't visually see them. Like
Right.
the avatar.
I like that.
I'm not sure if Alexa has it yet, but I would try to say try to find a way. I think everybody needs if you're gonna have the phone on you all day,
Right.
if you can make it a personal assistant somehow that you could just talk to it or say something and it reminds you, or just to not write things down sometimes, something like that. I'm not sure if it has it yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they probably do have notes that are on there.
It should integrate with every other app, so I can use Alexa to call an Uber. I can use Alexa to order Chinese food. Like, I don't have to touch my phone. I can just have my phone near me and I'll say Alexa, order me Chinese food.
Okay, and then Amazon gets a little piece of every transaction that goes on. That's what my device was. I was going to give it out for free, the device, free, make it up on all the goods and services. So that was my model, okay? And I could cry about it, or we could do something about it. And we could try to see what they will say.
Have we ever tried to pick up on the camera with the credit card?
Believe it or not.
Really?
Okay, a lot of things you're going to see and do here don't happen. Don't worry about your ideas not getting stolen. So many kids come in, I'm afraid of telling you. Don't tell me, it'll never get done. Even if you tell me, it'll probably not get done. Don't be so afraid of that. Go ahead.
So the phone should have a camera that you could take out and replace it with a better quality camera, because more people were starting to see that everybody thinks they're a photographer nowadays. And then they're saying that the iPhone 7 has a better quality camera. So it's something
You can
that
do
you can
that with
slip
different
out.
lenses. I actually have on my iPad, I have a lens, a fisheye lens, I have a train that was in Texas, and we train using the iPad and the fisheye lens in the gym at my house. So, I'm a big proponent of that. Yeah.
I noticed this photo to reader, like auto readers, you take a photo, they read it to you, or translate the words, then read it to you.
Right?
Because when I was trying to do my French homework before, instead of typing it in, I had to take a photo.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
translation stuff's hot. You're right, that's very big.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
there's-
they invest in voice recognition, because with Siri, the biggest thing, you always have to unlock your phone if you ask for anything. At that point, might as well just type it. With like this, you can ask across the
Oh,
room.
yeah, no doubt.
And,
Even that finger thing is horrible.
Yeah, and they can't
It
even tell your
frustrates
voice
the heck out of
sometimes.
me.
So
But-
if it gets your vocal pattern correctly,
Right.
it'll identify it across the room.
No doubt about it, yep.
They should also consider their own form of payment, the way Samsung has Samsung Pay, Apple Pay.
And Amazon does have Pay.
They do?
Amazon Pay does exist, and it's getting out there bigger and better. And again, that in and of itself, they'll make so much money from that. They don't have to make money from this device. They have to make money from the software and the services and all the other things that we're going to help Bezos along. Maybe we'll just put in a provisional patent just before we send it to him, just in case he don't give us the royalty.
I think it would be cool, instead of you having to go to your email or the website, they could just have a section in the app where it's just straight Amazon, and you could check when your order is on, the way,
Right.
everything as far as your order.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see every show and movie. I want to buy every outfit. My wife wants to buy every newscaster and every, time Jennifer Aniston somewhere, she wants to get that. The hair color, a stylist, they want to know everything. All of this should be coordinated today. And they all want to. The PR people want it done. They just don't know how to do it. You're on Ellen, right? And you want it, the latest outfit, that's on there. They don't say where you can get it. You should be able to click on it and right into your Amazon box. You're gonna get it tomorrow, I mean, and all of this stuff could get integrated into everything. Just gotta have some vision. Yeah, Joe.
A reserve battery life. Let's say your battery runs completely zero. The reserve battery kicks in and give you 15%.
Yeah, we talked about a couple of ways of handling battery. That and a specialty battery.
Like product recognition. So like, if the same thing, if I like that shirt that you're wearing, I should be able to.
Oh, thank you.
I should just be able to take a picture of,
Right.
of that shirt, and
No
then
doubt.
Amazon should say, here it is, add it to your cart right away. And then it should recognize everything, like it should recognize your sizes. It should know what your shoe size is. It
The
should know.
music on the TV behind it. What is that? It's a Ryan Tedder, One Republic something. Put it in my cart. In the cart. In the cart. At the end of the day, it'll be like, ultimately everyone's gonna owe everything to Bezos. No one will be able to pay the bill anymore. It'll be like, the professor was right. This is the ultimate kiosk. He gave it away for free, and everyone's ordering. It's getting slammed every day. As you're walking, you're taking pictures of my shirt, your hat. Everyone's buying everything. And that's the way it should go down for him. He's got this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to execute that vision. He has it now. He may not have it a year from now. It may be Walmart's turn. It could be Apple says, we're not losing this shit. We're going to spend our money and we're going to buy Walmart and Jet, their little fired up engine. And we're going to, or Tesla. I mean, it's wild what's going on out there right now. The consolidations of these big companies who want to get into each other's business is like at an all-time high, All right, so we can go on and on. God, last question on the Bezos.
So we should write, all of us should write an email and send it to him, or
Send it to me.
Send it
And
to
I'm
me.
gonna do a one email from us. And I'm gonna highlight certain things that some of you said in the email, little highlights. I may have Sam put in some of the video with this to show them, we're a real class, a real school, and we have something to offer him, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do not hear anything back even. Okay, so sometimes, hey, thanks for all the great advice. I'll see you in court. The Leibowitz Entrepreneur Class of 2017 versus Jeff Bezos and Amazon. And we got former Brooklyn College alum Alan Dershowitz to handle the case for free for the class. All right? Because if he goes out there and puts these out there for free to all Prime members, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
A no-brainer. You have 59 million Bezos out there. They're in people's hands, and they're working right away. And the money starts to pour in like no tomorrow. Okay, that's that. All right, we have a busy class today, so what I like to do is try to go to our first student speakers today, all right, and break it up. So let's hear from Caleb first. Welcome, Caleb. Oh, great. Beautiful.
Okay, so
Fantastic.
I am doing a beauty subscription box, and the idea came when we were in class last time talking about subscription ideas. And while I did a little bit of research on different subscription boxes, a lot of them are very general. So you sign up and you get a box of 5 hot products, and that's really it. And that's not what I want for my subscription box. I want it to be more to the customer. So I want the customer to put down what they're into, what their skin tone is, what their hair is like, everything. Like, of course, not too extensive to the point where it's annoying, but to the point where we can get to know exactly who our customer is and have them get a box of products that they're gonna like and that are designed for them. So my biggest idea, I guess, with the box is to make it really about the customer, giving them something that they're gonna use and that's good for their specific hair and skin and everything. So I put, because I know it's mostly men in the class, so I wanted to show you different hair types. So there's tons of different hair types, obviously. And my customer, I want to focus on this second row of different ethnic women with curly hair. And I grew up with my mom having pin straight, blonde hair, using whatever, I'm half white, half black. whatever was in the bathroom. And until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, my hair was like a disaster because I wasn't using the products that were meant for me. And I think a lot of young women out there don't know what products are out there that would be best for their hair type and be healthiest for their hair type. So a lot of products like Mix Chicks and Miss Jessie's are still really small companies. So I think I could work directly with them in getting sample sizes and being able to incorporate that into my box and sending that off to someone who's more interested in hair products and stuff like that. So the other end of it is makeup, and I just went on to Target.com. A lot of young women don't have $60 to spend on foundation, so they go to Target, CVS, Walgreens, and these are the nice shades that we have for young women. And obviously I would not match any of those tones, and I'm not super dark or anything, but the point is that there are women out there that can't get what they need right in the store. In my box, I want to have products that are good for ethnic women and mixed women and get them straight to their doorstep and straight there for them. And then my last element that I'm playing around with is more ethnic women struggle a little bit with pigmentation, like having uneven skin tone. So I also wanted to incorporate different body butters and different products that are going to help even skin tones and really focus on just like having healthy hair, healthy skin, and the products that work straight for those women.
Okay, how about some suggestions? Obviously, we love the subscription Birchbox model. How many of you love the model here? I show it. Okay, so we have a lot of great fans. How do you think? What is what could be a big advantage to this app that you did not see here? That's logical to me. I want to see who else can pick up on this. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that like for my girlfriend, like if I don't know what kind of hair product she needs, but if I can just click on an image and say this is the kind of style and this is the skin tone, and just have you guys figure it out, that would be a huge like.
Okay, what's another way? That's it.
A specialty, like her saying.
How could she improve this product? It's great the way it is, but how do you think it could be even better? Okay.
Free stuff. They get monthly free stuff.
Right, well, that's what it's going to be. I guess you didn't go over the business model, but you want to talk a little bit to that?
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't thought too deeply into it,
Okay.
but really the same, like most subscription boxes that I looked up, it's $10 a month or whatever, and you get your box with 5 different products or whatever it is. So it would be kind of that idea of you pay, you get options, and then, you can kind of pick what you want, and we can send you the full size products or.
Sure. I mean, one of the things that jumps out at me that would make this product so much better is if you actually took a selfie of yourself.
Right.
And sent it in there. And now you analyze, you dig deep. Okay, you dig deep into the pores. You see exactly what color. And that's not being done right now. And that is so easy to do. I mean, if they get a picture, you check and get it deposited. Okay, or do a Venmo thing. Taking something like this and, even taking, really digging into your hair and seeing what you want. I mean, it could be a tremendous game changer for you over anything else. Not to mention, once you have the photo, you can recommend hair goods, and sweaters, and all kinds of outfits and clothes. And you can diversify it to that, hair weaves, and all kinds of hair extensions. I mean, it doesn't stop. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say something about that idea. I think the biggest problem is sometimes Cambridge just doesn't do justice. I grew up with 4 females in my household, so I know that most females, when you guys buy your makeup, you know exactly what skin tone matches you guys. So, and sometimes you guys do your makeup, they take a picture of themselves, and sometimes they're still not happy about it. Or the picture didn't come out good.
Yeah, maybe that's another upsell. Maybe you have live makeup artists help them along.
Just look at the person, they may look fine, but the picture just doesn't do justice.
Yeah.
So that may not be.
So think about that, right? Having a live makeup artist on the other end. That's an upsell to this thing, okay? As we give her good comments, you can upsell that and have a makeup artist right there show you, with your photo, take the photo and even email and brush you out and show what, today everything is possible. Very, very good. Okay, great job. As you see, a lot of this is just generalities. Come on. Everything's generalities right now. I mean, there's a point where you're going to do your business plan and you'll have to dig down what it costs for all this, postage and marketing and advertising and things of that nature. So, but for now, this is a really good job. Okay, Eric.
Let's hear from you.
Let's hear it for Eric.
How's everybody doing? My
Hi.
name is Eric, and today I'll be talking about my app. So I would like to start with the question, don't we all wish that we had a money tree in our backyard? And then what I want to say is, how can we create one? So my idea is fintech. Fintech is a financial technology sector which is like applied to the back end of established customer and trade financial institutions. So pretty much it's just making banks and institutions more modernized. And so yeah, some questions I asked was like, how can we help the youth? Why aren't there more personal finance courses in high school? I believe high school should be the perfect age for everybody to go into personal finance and get educated on like everything. How to manage credit, how to establish credit.
I agree. It should be mandatory.
Yeah, I
High
feel
school
like
is the time.
yeah, definitely. I always talk about this with my stepfather, and he's always talking about like he sees so many people that are still like financially illiterate. I don't mean to be mean or anything, but it's just the truth, you know. And I know a lot of people myself that they always ask me, like I personally do stocks, and they always ask me like, oh, like how can I learn more about it and stuff? And I tell them Investopedia and stuff, and they read and they still don't get it. So I want to provide a way to help them. So I know like a lot of people have, they say that, you know, for you to make an app, you have to make it a way where people are not going to be, you know, abusing and stealing and making fake accounts with like fake socials and stuff. So my first step is to provide a way where it's mostly to youth, to students that are still like learning about the subjects and still need a hand to. I know a lot of people here are probably already like used to it, and everybody here probably does this on a daily basis. But I feel like me personally, I started like learning about personal finance when I came to Brooklyn College. I came from a single mom, so I didn't really have anybody to teach me. And so how the security process works is you submit 3 types of identifications. It's the same as when you go to any other bank. They always ask you for like your social, passport, proof of address. And then after you submitted the security portion, then you would be asked like personal questions, because we wanna make it about you and everybody. You know, everybody's unique, so we wanna make it towards everybody. Everybody's different, so you know, everybody is gonna have like, I'm gonna get to it at the end, but you'll understand why. And then every student will also be asked what do they want their future to be like. We want to just learn more about them in general. And then after this is the knowledge and information. So in the app, there's going to be a section where you could go and learn about any type of financial topic in general. Like you could go learn about real estate, investments, just general retail banking industry. And in this section, like we want to teach children how to build goals, financial goals, how to set goals for themselves. And yeah, every student will be asked what they want their futures to be like. Okay, and after this is how the app really works is it's called, so how the app makes money is by referring clients to banks. You don't make money, the app is gonna be free. I don't wanna charge any children that probably don't even have the money to pay $1 for an app, like I was probably. And the money will be made by referring clients to banks. This is a very hot industry in services and service that banks will love to add. The best thing about it is that we are bringing clients to them who we have personally recommended for them based on their questions. So a student could go in here and they could set up a banking account, they can learn how to establish credit, how to save money, the importance of compounding interest. And I always also like to add that the professor helped me out with the whole fintech idea. That didn't come from me at all.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, thank you. And then Yeah, so and something else that I like about the future is that everything is paperless. I hate statements and having to be deleting stuff. I want you to be able to go on the app and never have to go to the bank. And I really like the whole selfie thing. I thought that was a good way for us to be able to really tell who that person is, you know. I don't want, but yeah, the final piece of my whole thing is, this is the best piece to me personally. And then it's gonna be a roadmap and a blueprint. So I was thinking the name of the app is gonna be called Blue, because it's gonna be a blueprint to young youth, to the youth on how they can like get financially stable. The roadmap will provide students, it's gonna be similar to Life, and it's gonna just help them organize their tasks and goals as they go along. They can start with simple things as just saving, how to save $1,000 in a year. You know, you could go by saving $50 a week, and then, you know, as you keep making the tasks, you eventually hit your goals. And then everybody's gonna be unique, so every road is gonna be uniquely made for every single person. And yeah, the key selling point is gonna be that it's just to give a hand to students who don't have any mentor or anybody to teach them about how money works, or didn't come to Brooklyn College like I did, and was able to take personal finance as a requirement. But yeah, that's my idea.
Okay, what kind of comments to Eric on how to make his book better?
I feel like it would be beneficial if you could get it going like through schools, like
Right.
either like meeting with different, like the head of the business department and having teachers say like download this app, like you have to, it's mandatory,
Yeah.
and going through schools like that.
Good idea, Jeff.
I was gonna agree with her idea, because my biggest question was, obviously, you know, it's very unlikely that you're gonna start off connected with a bank. So what's gonna be your way of gaining the trust of, you know, your new clients,
Yeah.
that they'll feel secure enough to send you their personal
Yeah.
identification?
So my whole thing was I wanted to start at schools and just like introduce the app to kids, because at the end of the day it's to help kids. You know, high schools in general in New York City. I actually wanted to start in the rougher areas and just work my way from there and go around, but I mean, I would just like to just promote it in social media and just spread the word about the app, try to get people following.
You know, good job. You know, fintech and all of these financial applications are very, very hot. There's a bunch now, Betterment, Mint. So certainly it's not a new idea, but there's room, like there are tons of places of rooms for banks to do that. How many of you have ever seen a compound interest table like Eric was talking about before? No, huh? Okay, I'm just going to show you something quick. Let's see. Oops. Let's do Nice. Okay, compound interest. So this is really great, just to show you how compounding interest works, okay? And how you can get so wealthy over time if you have patience, discipline, and do the right thing. So let me just show you very, very quickly. Just by a show of hands, how many of you are under 25 years old? Okay, so the majority of the class. So how many of you are over 20? Okay, so good. So we're gonna put the age right around 20 years old, and we'll just say that you have $1,000 right now that you put into the bank, okay? Let's assume that you have that, or you graduated and your first month you're able to get $1,000 and you put it in. Now, let's say the addition, just like he said, okay, was going to be $50 a week. How much is 50 times 50? Anybody? Good. Okay, 2,500, not 250. So we're going to put in here 2,500. and years to grow. We're gonna put 50 years. I'm gonna assume that that's when you're gonna retire, right around 70 years old, okay? And if you had this, and we're gonna put the interest rate at 7%, okay? Which is a fairly low number, but it kind of matches what the stock market did over the last 50 years, okay? And the interest rate will compound one time annually. Anybody want to guess how much money you'll have in 50 years before we see the answer? Let's see who can be the closest. Well, that would be something if that's what it was.
620 grand.
How much?
620.
620 grand? Okay. Let's see, we had $1 million, we have 620, last one? 300, okay. Here we go.
621.
21, okay. This is not The Price is Right. $1,116,000. You'd be a millionaire. Just by putting away that small amount of money, that's the power of compound interest. And this is a very small amount of money to put away, okay? $50 a week.
But where would you get that interest from?
You'd probably put the money in the stock market into a nice ETF like the SPDR. SPY is the symbol, which tracks the S&P 500. And if you looked at that over the last 40 or 50 years, you'll see that it came out somewhere between 7 and 8%. That would be your annual number that you would get. So that's a very real number. Okay, so whenever you get in the mood and you say, hey, I want to get really rich, and how can I do it? This is the best thing to look at. How much do I put away now, and how disciplined do I have to be to put it in? And if maybe you're going to get more than 7%, maybe you're going to get 10%, 12%. Maybe you found you put it into Apple stock and Facebook, and it grew to some sort of crazy numbers. Okay, we're going to continue with our Young Entrepreneur series. This is going to be the chapter on testing the idea, which to me is probably the most important thing you could do when you're starting a business. You have to test it. I think this is probably the most important chapter that you're going to see all semester, because without testing your idea, small, fast, dump it if it doesn't work, you could spend millions of dollars like I did on Intel 3000 and go nowhere. Greatest idea, turned into the iPad, probably bigger and better than the iPad. Okay, maybe it's the Bezos. Okay, don't forget, we got to have the chip reader in the card. We want no fraud. No fraud at all. Okay, you know what they pay? 6% in fraud. That's what the number is on trillions of dollars out there. If you can eliminate the fraud by having the photo, who liked that idea with the photo? It's great, right? See, when you put your eye right into the camera, I mean, where it's going with the photo is like a really big thing. So what was your takeaway about this thing? About testing your idea? Kayla.
I guess like it's really important to know who your target audience is and not to go in with this like broad, like I'm gonna do this for everyone.
Okay,
Like,
you
just
were up
know
here
who-
today presenting your idea.
Yeah.
What did you take away from here? How are you gonna test your idea?
So I think that testing here on campus would be a really good idea because there are
agree.
a lot of
Yeah.
more ethnic women
Yes.
who I think would use the product. So that was kind of what I thought.
And what would you do when you test with them? You're gonna sit with them, you're gonna give it to them, you're gonna ask them to come back, you're gonna get their name and email address. How do you think you would test it with them?
I think it would be a good idea to like put it together like as what different products I would want in the box and get kind of like a test group together so that they could see the products firsthand and kind of go over like what I did today with them and have the products there for them and see how they feel about it.
Okay.
You know?
How many of you really like Kayla's idea? How many of you want to put money into Kayla's idea?
I'll do it.
Look at that. Oh my God. They want to put money into your business today. Okay, so that's what it's really about, the excitement of an entrepreneur. They can excite the class, the group, investors, they'll get their money. Okay, I mean, she's qualified and great presentation, but there's an awful lot more to know than just the presentation. But the testing of the idea, the executing. Okay, if you have a great hot sauce or a great iced tea, I'm going to be standing right there. How do you like our iced tea? Good? Terrible? Has a shot? Okay, that's great market research. It's right there. Right? Ann Tramm's hot sauce. Ann Tramm from my class a few years ago. Asian girl said she had the best hot sauce ever. Bought a pizza pie, had it cut into like 100 little pieces. They put the sauce on it. They loved it. The people loved the sauce. Actually, she got a couple of bids from people to invest money in her, and she turned them down. She wants to do it on her own thing. But it was that good, the hot sauce, that people were ready to throw some money at her indiscriminately. Okay. I want to take a little change now and talk. How many of you have ever thought about producing a movie or a show or doing anything in the entertainment business by show of hands? That's a lot more than I usually get. What are you thinking about? Kind of.
My biggest thing is VR movies, virtual reality stuff. I think that's a huge.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
Virtual reality and someone else. What else are you thinking about entertainment?
I still think reality TV is not as tapped into as it could be.
I agree. I agree. Give you a great idea for a reality TV show. Not been done yet. Very cheap to do. All it takes is like a brass set of balls to get out there and do it. Okay? All right? The show is called What Would You Do for $20? And we can think of all kinds of gross things to do for $20 that people would like to watch on TV, don't you? How do you like the idea for a TV show called What Would You Do for $20?
We put it on like Snapchat.
Put it on Snapchat, True TV. You put it on a lot of things, you know. It's like that train wreck thing. People want to take a look. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Broadway now. I started in 2010 on Broadway doing my first show, The Book of Mormon. And I want to show you. How many of you have seen The Book of Mormon? Okay. You have. Okay, so The Book of Mormon.
no, not.
Okay, not the show. There is a Book of Mormon, as we know, right? It's a lot of Saint-Day Saints. So they made a musical. The guys that did South Park wrote the show for the Book of Mormon, and that was my first show. And I did about 26 shows since that show. But let's see. And for any of you who have any ambition to get into Broadway, okay, whether it be off Broadway or on Broadway, there's lots of ways to do it, and I'm here to show you how to do it today. All right. We'll get to you in a minute. Okay, so we all know that one of the hottest shows on Broadway today is Hamilton, right? And Hamilton was created by a partner of mine who we did Cinderella together. Okay, so Cinderella was a big show. It was on Broadway in a big theater, 1,400 seats. It lasted about 2 years, and then it went on tour. And generally how Broadway works is you get to know some investors, know some producers, and then they'll call you up when they have a new show or something that's going on. Or if you invested in a show that maybe you lost some money, they'll make it up to you and give you another show like a Hamilton, which did really good business. So what I want to do now is take a few minutes to talk about how you make money in Broadway and what the expenses are like on Broadway. How many of you think you have any idea what the expenses in the way of categories may be? I actually have a copy here, which I can't show you, but it's the actual numbers from the Book of Mormon for the month of October. Okay, so I have every expense written out here. So let's just go around the room. I'm just curious what you think are some expenses in Broadway.
food for on set?
That would not be one of the expenses on Broadway, okay? That's in the movie business, but it's certainly not a big expense. I'll get to you. Let's go around the room quick.
Lights.
Lights, big expense, lights.
The venue,
The venue, the rent for the venue.
actor salary.
Actors' salaries! You have no show without actors.
A choreographer?
Choreographer, absolutely, a big expense.
Hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup,
Wardrobe,
wardrobe.
the ticket,
Okay, ticket people, right? To take to the box office, no doubt.
Miscellaneous stuff, like things you can't even predict.
Okay, that's definitely one of the line items out of that.
Equipment to put on.
Directors?
Director's fee.
Insurance in case something happens.
Perfect, insurance is another big line item.
Stage itself.
Okay, yes, actually the props and going to actually make the things, another big expense.
The stage crew.
Stage crew, somebody's got to operate all the things through the back.
I was gonna say prop, but then
Okay, well there's a lot of props, go ahead.
The orchestra.
Orchestra, big expense in a musical, tremendous expense.
Maintenance.
Maintenance, absolutely. Let me read you some more. Understudies, people that play in the background, okay? Dance captains, stage manager, press agent, very important. Without a press agent, you don't have all the great press that goes on. Musical director, housing and living expenses, rehearsal fee, okay? All these things go into a show. Carpentry, electric, miscellaneous, as you said, casting expenses, electric and projections. All of these things are line items. Automation, producer fees, music contractor, social media is a big one, outdoor advertising, television, radio advertising, the front of the house that always looks so beautiful, all the signage that goes on in Broadway. These are all expenses. Licenses to actually license the product from the people who wrote the shows. Okay, that's another fee. Utilities. Then there's payroll taxes, accounting, legal, producers fees, car service, telephone, faxes. Okay, royalties. All right, directors fees, designer fees, producers. That's a lot of fees. I'm out of breath just reading.
How do you make the money then if you have so many fees?
Okay, most shows do not make money, as we're about to have. But when they hit, they're like gushes, okay? The gushes is not only do they make money on Broadway, but right now the Book of Mormon has 4 shows playing around the world. One in London, one touring all over US, one touring all over Europe. Hamilton is soon going to have also about 6 shows playing. So when you get it right, okay, there's a big saying, as you're going to hear in this next piece, that ran on CNBC, betting big on Broadway. So let me play that for you guys really quick, all right?
It's got glitz, it's got glamour, and it's a fabulous way to lose your money. In an industry that rakes in over $1 billion per year, 8 out of 10 shows are financial failures.
It's sort of like swim at your own risk.
But still, the bright lights in this casino lure investors to an elusive jackpot, the smash hit.
Broadway is an all-or-nothing business.
Risk, that's the real drama on Broadway.
Why is Broadway such a risky business?
From the embattled king of Disney theatricals fighting to make a comeback.
And you can't know until it's on its feet if it's going to work. Investment units can begin at $10,000.
To the small independent producer pushing to make millions.
If we are 100% sold out for 16 weeks, I think you can double your money.
And the relentless team behind Broadway's most expensive show ever struggling to recover.
Toughest thing I've ever dealt with.
Now, most people would have just cut their losses.
I think we're somewhere between idiots and true believers.
You're about to meet Broadway's venture capitalists, out to survive and
make a killing. Make a killing.
This is Betting Big on Broadway. I'm Maria Bartiromo.
with danger, greed, and cliffhanging rescues, Broadway's Spider-Man is the ultimate high-wire act. It's also the biggest bet ever made on all of Broadway. Welcome to the $75 million musical, Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark.
We're on the left or going up?
We are. We're headed up. Oh, this is your stage debut, Maria.
Jeremiah Harris and Michael Cole are Spider-Man's lead producers. And they're facing the ultimate challenge, turning the most expensive show ever made profitable.
With great power comes great responsibility is the tagline, and I think that people identify with that.
But the drama backstage sometimes stole the show. You canceled the production, what, 4 times?
Maybe 5 times. We had accidents, we had problems that we just couldn't anticipate.
Yeah, 4 actors have already been injured. One of them remains in the hospital this morning.
Refunding tickets over here!
Instead of show-stopping songs, there were show-stopping injuries, plus horrible reviews. This must have been a tough thing to swallow, the New York Times writing it. This is a national joke.
They called it vulgar before they'd ever seen it. Read a script, knew anything about it.
And major disagreements with the show's original key creator and director, Julie Taymor, which led to her departure and sparked a legal battle over royalties.
We weren't ready when we started our first preview. Technically, we had no ending. The scenery didn't work.
As you're talking, I'm thinking, well, the show spent $75 million, before a single ticket had been sold. Do you think Spider-Man was rushed in front of audiences so that producers could begin, earning money on that?
I think all of us knew, and we said we're not ready to preview, but I would never say I can't do it. That's not what I'm going to say.
I'm a $65 million circus tragedy.
But the mega spending on Spidey started in 2009. The theater required a major overhaul between the redesign, enormous hydraulic lifts, and the intricate system to make the show's characters appear to fly. It all racked up quite a bill.
We changed the rake of the audience so we could actually get, more seats.
And we needed them.
Yeah.
We needed, that's 1,600 tickets times, $100 every week. So
Right.
It's a huge difference.
After Taymor's departure, Cole and Harris shut down the production and raised another $15 million to fund a complete retooling of the show.
Most people would have just cut their losses. You decided to dig in, pay rent on the space, keep a whole staff on hold. Essentially, you spend more money on the most expensive musical ever. Why?
I think we're somewhere between idiots and true believers. I'm not sure which one it was, and lucky.
Spider-Man reopened in June of 2011. And beyond what's already been invested, the show's weekly running costs are in the 7 figures.
There's the flying gear, the costumes, training actors, stand-ins. $1 million a week, is that right?
It's a bit low.
The big question, with $75 million invested so far and costs running over $1 million a week, will Broadway's mega bet ever pay off?
I hope my grandchildren are working at it long after we're gone.
The next iteration of this show might not be done in the proscenium theater because of the complexity of the show itself.
What's the alternative?
If it's to tour, it'll tour in arenas.
Whether the mega musical will ever tour is still unclear. For now, the focus is selling seats on Broadway. And through 2012, Spider-Man grossed an average of almost $1.5 million a week. Impressive, but it would have to average that much every week for more than 3 years just to break even. Later, the man behind Disney's billion-dollar moneymaker talks winning.
If you hit it big.
And losing.
So we lost, probably $15 million on that.
And next.
I kept saying this could be a very big hit.
He made a big gamble on the Phantom.
And it turned out to be something unbelievable, extraordinary.
Find out exactly how much when Betting Big on Broadway returns.
You can't make a living in Broadway, but you can make a killing.
And Jim Friedberg knows it because he made quite a killing.
I kept saying this could be a very big hit.
You've almost certainly heard of the show, but not Jim's big gamble. It was 1987, and seeing Phantom moved Jim, a former Wall Street trader, to consider a big investment in bringing London's Phantom to Broadway. But the timing wasn't great.
Black Monday, the worst day ever on Wall Street. The Dow Jones lost 508 points in one day.
With Wall Street crashing and investors on edge, Jim and his business partner invested $500,000 to help bring the $8 million musical Phantom to Broadway.
And then it turned out to be something unbelievable, extraordinary.
Extraordinary, all right. 25 years and still going with the payoff of a lifetime.
The return on this investment is a little under 1,300%.
Jim says their $500,000 investment earned $6.5 million. And 25 years later, the checks keep on coming. A lot has changed since Phantom, but every show is still a big gamble.
You're gonna love it.
And Jordan Roth ushers in a new generation of risk takers.
I don't know that I or anybody then knew how big it would become.
Jordan is a Broadway theater owner. His company, Jujamson, operates 5 theaters. He's single-handedly changing what you see on Broadway and how much you'll pay for it. Back in 2011, he saw a reading of a show called Book of Mormon, a crass musical that pokes fun of the Mormon religion. His decision to put it up in one of his theaters could have been a total disaster. Instead, it went on to outgross every show on the block.
How lucrative was it for your company?
It's a great show.
How great, he won't say, but we can give you a good idea. First, you need to understand how Jordan's theaters price tickets.
Some shows may change prices daily based on demand of a particular section.
Sort of like the airline business.
For us, the variables are where you are in the theater, what day of the week, what time of year.
It's called dynamic ticketing, and when applied to the wildly popular Book of Mormon, ticket prices went through the roof. A prime orchestra seat sold for a record-breaking $487.
I'm so thrilled to welcome you to your new home on Broadway, here at the St. James.
Here he is welcoming his newest pick.
And now this stage is yours.
Bring It On, a musical about cheerleaders. As the head of a company that grosses a reported $200 million a year, his success is measured in how long a show like this survives.
We never, ever want to be caught without a show or with a show closing very prematurely.
And the 37-year-old has much bigger, older, and more experienced competition. The Schubert and Niederlander companies that control the other 35 theaters.
There are more shows than theaters. That fact is why it is such a robust business.
The stakes are high for the theater owners, but even higher if you're the one in charge of raising the cash to bring a new show to Broadway. We followed the journey of the lead producer of a play called Grace to see if she and her investors could beat the odds.
They're going to wire us $9 million tomorrow morning from Zurich.
Grace is a dark comedy that follows a young, devout couple that moved from the Midwest to Florida to open a chain of gospel motels.
Debbie Bisno has a show to sell. Grace, starring movie actor Paul Rudd. The pitch?
Investment units can begin at $10,000, but
in just 16 weeks, investors could double their money. But she also offers this blunt warning.
Don't do it if it's your last $25,000. I don't want that stress.
As the show's lead producer, Debbie has her own money and career on the line.
In this business, you only have so many chances, really.
Bisno's in charge of raising the money.
We need to raise between $2.25 million and $2.7 million.
Hiring the actors and production team, and above all else, ensuring that Grace turns a profit. With a director and actors signed on and a Broadway theater secured, Debbie's on the hunt for investors.
So I'm dialing for dollars. Can I get the list of Warhorse and Priscilla investors and merchant investors? If you don't have the rest of the money, you don't put up the show.
She's selling shares in the show, starting at $10,000. But each one of these calls is potentially worth a lot more than that.
Somebody else can come in with $500,000. All right, bye. Who else? Oh my gosh. Hey, good to see you.
While Debbie and her co-producers are still raising money, they're already spending on set construction.
The actual set and the living room of this condominium is rotating on plane, and then the doors and the windows are tracking on their own track.
It's looking great, but the cost of loading it into the theater is over budget.
I hear it's going to be expensive. We anticipated running into extra costs, but we always hope that we don't, but we certainly did, and that's why you have a reserve.
Debbie says the overrun isn't a problem if the show sells.
Oh, it's my birthday!
Happy birthday.
They'll wait for autographs, but will they buy seats?
We had nice ticket sales, but nothing to say, oh, we're fine.
Later on, betting big on Broadway, find out if Debbie's Grace can turn a profit. But first, hanging on for dear life after flops like Tarzan and The Little Mermaid.
I got it wrong.
Can the man behind Disney's Lion King restore his pride?
I think there was a myth that Disney would keep anything running.
Night after night, the King of Broadway roars on as the most successful show ever, bringing in billions for Disney. But the business is much bigger than just Broadway. Welcome to Miami, where the lion is king of the road and the tour is gearing up to cash in. With hundreds of puppets and a robotic 8,500-pound Pride Rock, getting the road show up and running is literally tons of work.
We've 18 tractor trailers, 53 foot. You got to pull both these out at the same time, but the other one's great.
Michael Carey runs this production team. He's been traveling with the show since 2003.
People come on the show and they pretty much don't leave. We have everything for costume repair, for puppet repair. We call this the wardrobe bunker. You'll see that starting to get set up. Costumes will be unveiled, unpacked.
A total of 134 crew and cast members travel with the show, including 19 wardrobe staff and 10 electricians.
And then one person that's just dedicated to doing laundry. So there's an awful lot of dirty clothes.
Making sure this well-oiled machine moves quickly and efficiently means money. Over the past decade, the show has played 96 cities worldwide, and on the road it has been seen by 55 million people.
We have 2 sets of scenery, so that allows us, while we're finishing up a run in one city, we're setting it up here.
So while the show's still running in Miami, the road crew will load the Lion King into another theater in Tennessee. Less time between productions means Disney can schedule more sold-out shows.
There were like 600 for 4 of us, and that's a lot for Miami.
It was amazing. I loved it.
If you hit it big. This is from Aladdin. There's more from Little Mermaid. That's a hat from Aida. There was just a big...
Meet the man behind Broadway's biggest moneymaker, the very animated Thomas Schumacher, head of Disney Theatricals.
This is a puppet from The Lion King.
For Schumacher, it all started with The Lion King. 15 years running, it has now surpassed Phantom to become the highest-grossing Broadway show of all time. Average ticket price, $134 in 2012.
You've made a killing on The Lion King.
It would be fair to say,
much
I hate to say made a killing involving all those beautiful animals, but yes.
How much money has that production made?
Oh my gosh, there's a gross...
$5 billion?
There's a gross number that's pushing $5 billion. That's how much we've made. That's how much it grossed. But we've made a lot of dough on it.
Schumacher has a solid track record. 71% of his shows have turned a profit. Impressive in an industry where the success rate is around 20%.
So this is a tough business.
Yes, but if you hit it, it's almost more like venture capital. A lot of reasons, I think.
But he's also made some bad bets.
It's been a few years since lightning has struck.
You have 2 shows that don't work, and you think, are we getting it wrong? What are we doing wrong? This is worth looking at. This is a costume from The Little Mermaid. Somebody sat and stitched all... I mean, this is... I wish I hadn't spent so much since Little Mermaid didn't really work. Oh, you see, you never know.
The Little Mermaid survived less than 2 years, and it lost money. Disney declined to say how much. Another mistake, the 2006 musical Tarzan.
It didn't connect with audiences.
It didn't work. I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Because we were sold out, and then it just stopped. It just stopped. So we lost, you know, probably $15 million on that. I think there was a myth that Disney would keep anything running, that there was a pipeline of money coming in. But they're not. The shows live and die on their own merits. We don't cross-collateralize. The Lion King does not keep Mary Poppins running.
After Mermaid and Tarzan, some Broadway watchers wondered aloud, was Schumacher barely hanging on to his job? And the surprising bet he made in 2012 raised eyebrows. He was banking on a 2 decades old film called Newsies, about the New York City newsboy strike in 1899. Not a particularly Disney storyline. And as a movie, it bombed.
So although the movie didn't work, on video, this story of young people taking charge of their life, making a difference, resonated. And then they all started posting things on YouTube about it. It's a show that was literally called to the theater by 25 to 35-year-olds.
Going viral is one thing. Sustaining the momentum long enough to turn a profit is another.
In the first 3 weeks of Newsies, we outgrossed the film.
Sounds impressive, but remember the movie was a dud. And on Broadway, success is measured in years, not weeks.
One rises and one falls by the audience.
But when the show scored 8 Tony nominations, suddenly the chances of his bet paying off increased dramatically. If Newsies could take home the Best Musical award, it would practically guarantee a surge at the box office.
I do think it would make a difference for Newsies. I think it would make a difference to its run. I don't know how much.
So on Tony night, hopes are pinned on one very valuable moment.
And the Tony Award goes to Once.
It's a major disappointment for Schumacher. A competing show steals the award and the box office windfall that comes with it. But Schumacher's story doesn't end there. Newsies' relatively small budget and solid ticket sales turned the show profitable faster than any other Disney production to date. So he's once again beat the odds on Broadway and set the stage for yet another potentially lucrative national tour.
What needs to happen to ensure financial success?
You cannot buy an audience. And the #1 way to market a show is still word of mouth.
Right, so how do you get that word of mouth going?
Prayer.
Next, Grace's producer says her prayers.
Not to get too serious here, but just take a moment to say grace.
As critics weigh in and the play meets its financial fate.
Sort of like swim at your own risk.
Will this investment sink or swim? Find out when Betting Big on Broadway returns.
If you can gather enough investors.
After months of working the phones to raise money from investors,
welcome everybody.
Debbie Bisno, Grace's lead producer, is just weeks away from her show facing the harsh eyes of critics. This is a meet and greet.
Paul Rudd, playing Steve.
Where the entire team rallies at the kickoff for rehearsals.
At meet and greet, we have over our minimum capitalization.
That means the show has enough money to cover the actors' salaries and other expenses through opening night. Going forward, Debbie needs ticket revenue to pay the bills.
He loses everything. Revolving stage.
So she turns to the theater press to get the buzz going. The clock is ticking before critics see the show. But tensions run high at Grace's first preview performance.
That is the first time when you really have an objective, paying audience. The first night when I looked across the street and saw all of these fans waiting for autographs, it was such a terrific sign that people weren't walking off and going, "What's for dinner?" They were saying, "I gotta get his autograph."
But star power is no guarantee Debbie and her investors will recoup the over $2.5 million in startup costs.
We had nice ticket sales, but nothing to say, "Oh, we're fine."
To cover just the fixed running costs, Grace must gross more than $238,000 a week. To break even, it's projected it has to gross an average of more than $380,000 per week. The clock starts ticking on opening night. The reviews hit the web later in the evening, and everyone here knows they can make or break the show.
I feel like if the show is good, people will come and see it.
So is Grace good? Turns out the critics disagree. The New York Daily News says it idles, but the Associated Press, published in papers across the country, gushes, calling Grace deeply thoughtful. Ben Brantley of the New York Times gives it a mixed review. In its second, third, and fourth week after opening, Grace is on fire, grossing over $500,000 per week.
If we continue to do that, even if we stay where we are, we will recoup.
But in week 7, Superstorm Sandy hits New York. Much of the city is left without power, and Broadway ticket sales are crushed. Grace suffers, but stays open for the full 16-week run, bringing in almost $6.5 million.
Debbie Bisno comes close, but in the end, Grace recoups about 90% of its investment. proving it's a risky business when you're betting big on Broadway.
See it. Unfortunately, I just wanted to give you a little taste of Broadway today. All right, next week, student speakers Cody Mangana and Maria Lamb. Look forward to hearing from you. We have our first guest speaker next week, Mike Geller, who owns an organic farm that does deliveries to people's homes. So you'll hear about that industry next week. Have a good week, everybody. Thanks.